It's time for Mr. Fundamental!
Presented by no one.
The Sacramento Kings just aren't good enough right now, especially considering how close they were to ending their playoff drought just 2 years ago. Looking at their roster, it's not like they have a terrible team. They've got a cornerstone in Fox, 2 recent lottery pick prospects, pretty good vets in Barnes and Hield who are in the middle of their primes, and a feel-good signing in Holmes just last year. Their head coach Luke Walton has taken a lot of heat ever since taking on this gig, and reasonably so. He's learned from some of his mistakes last year, but things have been just as bad. Well, let's see what's going on, and whether this could be fixed. The first and most obvious thing is the Marvin Bagley dilemma. After a slow start to the season, he started to pick things up and even flashing some 3-point shooting as well. On the other hand, we all knew defense is going to be a problem, and he continues to be a tweener on this end of the floor. Playing next to another traditional big most of the time, he's forced to guard out on the perimeter. Here he gets switched onto Schroeder, and he gets schooled with a few dribble moves. He's against Thaddeus Young on his possession. The hard drive and spin leaves Bagley in the dust before draining the flip shot. Zion has been unstoppable with his attacks, but Bagley is already sinking low with both foot in the paint and not respecting his jumper. He still can't keep him in front, and no contest either. As a result, teams will pick on him in pick and rolls. Few crossovers and a step back gets Curry plenty of daylight for the triple. Despite of his athletic ability, Bagley isn't a shot blocker who can clean up his mistakes on the defensive end. This complicates matters a lot, and partly why they've deployed him mostly at the 4 this season. After Levine gets by Joseph, Bagley is in pretty good position to contest, but opens up his body to the rim. On this pick and roll, Bagley is keeping up with the driver and forced in baseline. On the wraparound pass, check out Bagley's footwork and how it didn't allow him to get back into play. Bagley's defense is already poor in these conservative strategies, so imagine what happens against 5-outs or pick and pops. It's not absolutely hopeless for Bagley, since defense is more team-oriented, and he occasionally flashes some good defense, like this effective contest on the drive. He switched onto a guard, but keeps up pretty well, and forced a kick out. It was just luck that the Raptors were able to score in this possession. Building a good perimeter defense would be key to keep Bagley on the floor. While roster moves would definitely help, the Kings' defensive schemes haven't been great either, so we can't solely blame Bagley for the Kings' defensive struggles. A quick handoff in the screen gets them confused. Bagley is preparing to contain towards the wing, but Fox isn't funneling Rose into the screen. On the drive, Bagley is out of position, both weak side player doesn't help, and Rose gets all the way to the rim. The Sixers run a screen in the pin down. Bagley switches on to Simmons, but Barnes isn't on the same page. All this leads to an open mid-range jumper for Embiid. Late in the game, and they're up 4, so the primary focus is preventing a 3. What would your strategy be? Well, mine would be switching everything, and even if they get a layup, we'll play the free throw game. I think that's their plan too, but Fox stayed on Monk for an extra second. Having to recover in Washington is also why he stumbles, and gives up the 3 ball. Oh, they lost this game by the way. They're in the 2-3 zone. On the pass back, Hield is expecting Bagley to be jabbing at Kuzma. He's late, so it triggers another pass. As a ripple effect, Holmes is late to rotate, and they give up the open 3. This brings us to the help defense, and there's no consistency at all. On the drive, Holmes rotates down for the contest. Both Barnes and Fox had no intention of helping the helper, and they give up the dunk. Again, a simple handoff out on top, and you can see how Joseph didn't know they were switching. This makes him trail in the flare, and force the switch on the drive. No help on the weak side by Hield, and a pocket pass gets them the basket. After Fox gets taken out of the play, see how Hield isn't even aware of the drive, and gets in the way of the help. It seems like Walton is using a free-flowing and improvising defensive approach, rather than a rigid structure, which is actually what the Kings' poor defense needs. Just look at how the Knicks have turned things around by improving the consistency of help defense. Without this, the Kings' defense isn't going to improve anytime soon. Their dual big lineup is supposed to shore up the defense and protect the paint, but their inconsistent help defense and schematics are allowing the 11th most shots in the restricted area, and opponents are making them at a 67% clip, which is the second highest in the league. Lastly, Bagley at the 4 have led to a lot of defensive blunders against smaller lineups, like being unable to keep up in transition. Same thing again, this is after a free throw, where the defense should be set, but the Nets get a very quick basket. With all that said, the Kings have some hope if we look at their lineups. Their starting lineup of Fox, Hield, Barnes, Bagley, and Holmes have a plus 6.1 net rating. Their defense is still bad, but their offense is really good, especially considering how they're playing 2 bigs. If they replace Bagley with Haliburton, their net rating skyrockets to 16.8. Their offense is just as good, but their defense becomes elite. This is pretty straightforward. Offensively, they replaced the big with another ball handler, leading to more shooting, shot creators, and off-the-catch opportunities. Defensively, they're more comfortable switching 1 through 4, because Fox, Barnes, and Halliburton can all hold their own, while Holmes could clean up some mistakes. Unfortunately, they can't run these lineups all game, and the rest of their lineup combination have a minus 6.8 net rating on average. This just shows that a big problem they have is depth. Rotation is something Walton has struggled with. We've got to credit him for identifying their best lineups and playing them a lot. I mean, their third most played lineup doesn't even come close. On the flip side, not being able to figure out their bench rotations could be a criticism, but again, it could be a matter of roster depth. Just before we get to the potential solutions, let's look at Buddy Hield. After Walton incorrectly utilized him as a ball handler last year, Hield is having his worst shooting season. Could it be an after effect? Maybe, but Walton has put him in plenty of catch and shoot situations this year. He's taking a career high 6.5 catch and shoot threes, but hitting them at a career low rate of 37%. Hield is too good of a shooter to stay in the slump, but there's more to it than just missing shots. Quickly looking at his shot distribution, 73% of his shots have come from beyond the arc, and a career low at the rim with just 8%. He's taking just over 1 shot within the restricted area, and no one who plays almost 35 minutes a game take less than him. The next closest is Duncan Robinson, with less minutes. Hield hasn't been the best ball handler to attack closeouts, so he will settle for mid-range pull-ups, but this big of a change in his shot distribution does suggest that he lacks confidence within the arc. What he has done is pulling the trigger from deep, even with his defender closing out hard. Coming off this double screen, the bad pass allows his defender to recover and press up. His defender's left foot is literally beside him, so a drive here could suck in more help, or he could use the home screen to create. Hield's lack of confidence in his drive made him settle for this contested shot. He is attempting the most threes in his career, with a defender within 0 to 2 feet, and this could explain his dip in 3-point percentage this year. Not everything is bad though, since Hield is still making shots in an average clip within the arc, but most importantly, he improved his pass to assist ratio. He's making the right pass when attacking closeouts. He fumbles on the drive at first, but this forces the help and the easy dump off to Holmes for the push shot. The only problem is his willingness and tendency to drive at these closeouts, rather than taking contested threes. As the roster currently stands, there's only one way of fixing the Bagley dilemma and Hield's confidence within the arc, and that's their offensive scheme. Bagley has been relegated to spot-up duties most of the time, being away from the action and not playing to his strengths. For this whole possession, he was just standing in the corner. After cutting from the wing, he relocates to the corner, and that's what they drew up. Even as the sole big on the floor, the Kings move away from him and screen with Barnes. I mean, he's having a great season, but you hardly see this type of effort and emphasis of finding Bagley. So far, Bagley has done his best to be productive on this end, whether it's knocking down open threes, or making cuts and flashes in the paint when the defense willingly helps off him, but this isn't going to turn him into a 20-10 guy that they really wanted. One of the solutions is to use Bagley as a screener, even in dual big lineups with Holmes stationing at the dunker spot. After the screen, he can put the ball on the floor, and he's nimble enough to navigate the traffic in the paint for a big finish. If he's the sole big on the floor, things get even easier with him playing the rim runner role. This is one way that's made Zion effective, even playing next to a non-shooting big. Another solution is to run the Warriors low post split with Bagley in the post. We've seen flashes of this, but definitely not enough. See how this keeps Hield's dribbles to a minimum, and Bagley draws the foul on the roll. They've made a priority to feed Barnes, which is why he's in the post with Bagley spotting up. They run the off-ball screen and check out the open look Hield gets without the need to create. Here's a similar concept. Bagley initiates in a flare screen one pass away. This gets Hield a wide open triple. Of course, I'd rather Bagley initiating in a post instead, since he can do so much damage down there, even if the off-ball screen gets nowhere. You can argue that this takes the ball out of Fox's hands, but this could lessen his creation responsibilities. This set could turn into a sideline pick and roll or handoff. At worst, they'll just reset into spread pick and roll if the low post split gets broken up. The Kings could shake up their roster to fix these issues, but these are possible solutions if they stand pat. I know I've gone on about Bagley quite a bit, and there's a chance he's not even in their long-term plans. The thing is that they're playing to his weaknesses and not putting him in a position to succeed. It's unclear whether his defense will come around, but that makes maximizing his offense even more important. There's a need to turn him into an offensive star to overlook his defensive issues. Trading away a former number 2 pick in the middle of his rookie contract is a bad look, not to mention passing on Luka as well. This current front office isn't responsible for that, but maximizing Bagley is in their best interest, whether it's to use him as a foundational piece or upping his trade value. One way or another, it seems like Bagley could determine their ceiling. Let me know why you guys think the Kings have continued to struggle, and other possible solutions you can think of. Thank you for making it to end the video. Remember to drop a like down below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.